Why, yes, I did cut my hair. Thank you for noticing. Welcome back to Tina Ranks Every Broadway Musical, November edition. Wow! It's hitting me how far along we've gone into this challenge. And also, this year, I'm working on like a final ranking of like everything, or basically I'm just sorting everything out into like its proper categories. And skipping all of the lost musicals, I've listened to 634 musicals this year. God. And you know, the Spotify Wrapped stuff just came out. My top 5 are Broadway, Vintage Broadway, Opera, Indie Pop, which is like the normal music I listen to, and West End. So if there was any doubt that I wasn't listening to this challenge, I hope those doubts are gone now. Anyways, Spiel. The Broadway 2-A-Day Challenge is an internet challenge created by Stacey Biscotti Moore, aka Theater Kid Audition Coach on TikTok. She wanted to listen to all the musicals from 1950 to 2020 within a year, and a bunch of people were like, hey, I'll join in too. And here we are, losing our minds. Woohoo! I will be ranking every musical on an S through F scale. S tier is, ultimate perfection. A tier is really good, top of my list. B is not for me, but I can recognize that someone else might like it. C tier is pretty good, but I can't remember it now that I'm looking back on it. D tier is it was boring, I didn't care to listen to it, and I was glad it was over. And F tier is no, stop, do not pass, go. It is horrible, it is racist, it is somethingist, or I just couldn't finish listening to it. And then of course there is L for lost to time, because despite us being in modern times, there is still musicals that we don't have a recording of. So, instead of my classic goodbye, let's just, point and laugh. Ha ha! Ha 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 ha. Okay. Disclaimer that my rankings are Tina-centric. They are based on my thoughts, my opinions, my biases. An A tier for me might be a D tier for you, and vice versa. Don't get your panties in a twist if we have different opinions. The month of November covers from the years 2010 to 2015. All that being said, let's get ranking! Memphis. A DJ in the 50s plays black music for a white audience. Oh, and also he falls in love, I think. I remember nothing from it. I even tried looking it up to try to remember my original thoughts, but there's nothing there. I give it a D. Fela. The life of Nigerian artist Fela Anikulapo Kuti is told through musical. Again, I remember nothing from it. This is a D. Here's a screenshot from my Spotify to prove that I did indeed listen to both shows. Flat out don't remember doing that. That's fine. $1 Million Quartet. Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and Johnny Cash participate in a jam session. I mean, if you like Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and Johnny Cash, you're going to have a good time. I didn't. This is a B. American Idiot. A group of people try to live their life. What's that? Oh, it's music by Green Day? Ah, it's a jukebox musical, which means I already have a disdain for it. But I also really enjoy the music of Green Day. But I also dislike when they musicalize popular songs. Do you see the dilemma I have here? I give it a B. Plus, Bloody Bloody Andrew Jackson. The presidency of Andrew Jackson is told through a musical. Populism, yeah. I can see why people would like it. The music is very clever and fun. It's just not for me. I give it a B. Plus, The Scottsboro Boys. A group of black teenage boys are falsely accused of a crime. It's based on the real life of the Scottsboro Boys. I didn't pay much attention to it, but it seems a lot of people on the Discord server enjoyed it, so I'm gonna have to listen to this one again. For now, it is a B. Everyday Rapture. Cherie Renee Scott tells the story of her life through musical. I love Cherie as a performer, but I really couldn't care for the show. This is a D. Women on the verge of a nervous breakdown. A woman gets sent into a tizzy when her lover leaves her. A farce ensues. This one was actually pretty fun. I had a good time listening to it, and I also find myself often referencing the title when talking about myself. Haha. This is an A. Elf. A boy raised by elves travels to New York to discover his true identity. You know the movie Elf? It's that. You know? I didn't expect to enjoy this one as much as I did. The music is incredibly charming, it gives off old movie musical vibes, and since it's now November/December, it's seasonally appropriate to listen to. I give it an A. Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. A trio of drag queens travel across Australia. It's a jukebox musical. If you like popular songs, I guess you'll enjoy this show. I gave it a B. The Book of Mormon. 2 Mormon missionaries are sent to Uganda. Shenanigans ensue. Oh boy. Look. The music is catchy, and the opening number will continue to live rent-free in my head. I don't think the comedy aged well. I think it's possible to have dark, raunchy comedy in a musical, but I think this show does it at the expense of black people, especially by stigmatizing a lot of stereotypes about African countries. But I feel like there's potential to fix it if it were to be like workshopped, you know? But it's not workshopped. This is the final product. This is what we've got, you know, this is what we're working with. So it's complicated. I remember listening to I Believe, laughing at a line, and then immediately saying, oh, that's terrible. I don't know what to rank this one. I think I'm actually lost for letters. So we are giving this an M for Mormon. Let me know what you think down in the comments, because I truly do not know. I do not know. Catch Me If You Can. A man who falsely assumes multiple identities runs from another man trying to find him. I think some of the songs are very obviously iconic and very catchy. It's just not for me. I gave it a B. Wonderland. I'm going to tell you an anecdote, and this anecdote will make sense in terms of the story of Wonderland the musical. When I was in 7th grade, I was in a play. I played server number 2, and I really wanted to play server number 2 because server number 2 was rude, they were pushy, they were mean to everybody. And me, you know, being the nice, quiet, shy kid, I really wanted to, like, you know, break out of my type. And the play was titled Alice in Wonderland Urban Edition. Anyways, I'm telling all this because Wonderland is basically Alice in Wonderland Urban Edition. I think it's fine. The standouts are Mad Hatter, aka the song that a lot of musical theater fans will know and label as obscure. Other than that, it's not particularly interesting and I remember nothing else from it. And thus, I continue my search for a good Alice in Wonderland adaptation. This is a C+. Also, I think Frank Wildhorn wrote the music for this one. I'm gonna have to fact check myself later, but I think he did. And if I'm proven right, I will keep this in. If I'm wrong, I will edit it out. Sondheim on Sondheim. Stephen Sondheim discusses how some of his shows and songs came to be. I mean, if you like Sondheim, you're going to like listening to it, and it was kind of cool to see how the songs evolved. And I wrote that blurb before November 26th. I'm just so grateful that we got to be alive at the same time as Stephen Sondheim. What a blessing. The musical itself is still a B+, but oh god, we're gonna have to live in a world without Sondheim. Can you believe that? Woo! Sister Act. The forces of a convent and a disco singer collide. This one was fun to listen to. Do I remember it? Will I be listening to it again? No. I give it a B. Baby, It's You. A housewife founds a recording company after seeing a group of students perform at her daughter's school talent show. What's that? It's a jukebox musical of songs from the 60s, specifically that of music artists signed with Scepter Records? Oh, I mean, if you like songs from the 60s, specifically that of music artists signed with Scepter Records, I guess you'll like this one. This is a B. Spider-Man, Turn Off the Dark. It's, Spider-Man, but musical. This show is well known for its disastrous previews where actors got injured, but the music itself isn't terrible. It's not an all-time favorite, but I was kind of vibing with it. I gave it a B+. Leap of Faith. A reverend/con man invites locals to a revival after he finds himself stuck in a small town. Do you think this is a religious version of Pixar's Cars? It was fine. I don't remember it too well, but I was kind of interested in the story. I give it a C. Ghost. A recently deceased ghost tries to save his wife from danger. You know the movie of the same name? It's that. As someone who hasn't watched the movie, yes, I know, I need to. I found the story incredibly okay, and I don't really remember the music too well. This is a C. Lysistrata Jones. A group of cheerleaders tried to make the basketball team score a victory by refusing to, sleep with them. It's Lysistrata, but college. I wasn't a big fan of this one, but I still found myself humming some of the songs in the days after listening to it. So I guess it's a B. Bonnie and Clyde. A man and woman become a notorious criminal duo. Half of the songs are really good. The Act 1 finale is spectacular. I didn't care for the ballads, and I'm usually a person who loves ballads, so I can't help but feel like there was a shortcoming there. I give it a B+. Once, a guy and a girl fall in love. Basically. I quite enjoyed this one. I'll have to try to listen to it again when I'm not so musical brain dead. I give it an A. Newsies. A group of newspaper boys begin to strike after the price of newspapers rises. I think Newsies is good. Lots of dancing, catchy music, power to the youth, all that. Don't think there needs to be a love story shoehorned in, but whatever. Something to Believe in is a good song. I like watching the dancing men doing wild leaps and flips. Woo! This is an A. This is when you learn Tina's the sympathy for Newsy boys. Bring it on. 2 cheerleading squads strive for a national championship. Aspects of it have not aged very well, but I will say the music is pretty decent, so that is a B+. Nice work if you can get it. On the weekend of his marriage, a jazz-age playboy gets involved with bootleggers, rum runners, and gold diggers. It's Gershwin. Yeah. So I give it a B. The people in the picture. A grandmother recalls her life in Yiddish theater and the Holocaust. I liked it. I don't know if it works as a Broadway musical, and at some point, the music became very aggressively Jewish, which I normally wouldn't mind, but ultimately, I don't think I'm going to listen to it again. So I give it a B. Chaplin. A man becomes a silent film star. The man is Charlie Chaplin. I remember nothing from it. This is a C. Scandalous. It's a biomusical of Amy Semple McPherson. The music was fine, but I can't say that I was super interested in it until the actual scandal came around in the last 5 songs, and by then it was already too late. I give it a B. A Christmas Story. A boy really wants a BB gun for Christmas. It's a Christmas story. I think I enjoyed this one. I don't remember it, but I would feel bad if I gave it a low ranking just because of that, because I genuinely did like it. I need you to know that I really like this one. I just can't remember it at this current moment. So I gave it an A-. Hands on a Hard Body. A group of people in a small town enter a competition to win a truck. I enjoyed this more than I thought I would. I'm very surprised. I'm not sure how well it translated to Broadway, but I think it worked really well for a smaller stage. I give it an A-. Kinky Boots. A man who recently inherited a shoe company and a man in need of some sturdy stilettos make an unlikely duo. I know a lot of people like this show, but it's really not for me. I enjoy Raise You Up, and I did enjoy watching it when I saw it back in 2016. It's just not for me, so I give it a B. Matilda. A girl with magic powers starts a revolution at her school to overthrow an abusive teacher. I love this show. It's so precious. When I Grow Up makes me cry every time. And I love the message that even the littlest of people can make a change. It's really inspiring, even to a boring grown-up like me. I give it an A. Motown. The Motown record label is made. It's a jukebox musical of Motown. I would say that you could listen to Motown music and get the same experience, but in this particular one, they tried to cram so many Motown songs into one show that almost every track ends up being a medley, and you don't have time to actually take it in. I give it a C. Cinderella. A woman goes to a ball and falls in love with a prince. It's Cinderella. It's Rodgers and Hammerstein, and I can't even blame it on a revival. This was originally a television broadcast, and this 2013 production is an adaptation of the aforementioned broadcast. So it's not a revival, but I want to be mad, but I can't be mad. Anyways, it's very good. I enjoyed it. This is an A. First date. A couple go on their first date. Shenanigans ensue. I think it's fine. Charming, even. It's just not for me. I give it a B. Big Fish. A man tries to find the truth behind his father's tall tales. I enjoyed this one. I think I'm going to have to see an actual production in order to really get it, but I can see why people like it. So I give it an A. A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. A man finds out he's in succession to be the Earl, so he trains himself to become a gentleman. I'm just kidding. He murders everyone preceding him. This joke was 4 months in the making. Did anyone catch on to it? Does anyone care? Yes, impeccable. I love it. Their Tony Award performance was truly the thing that got me super into watching musicals and imagining the possibilities. This is an A. Beautiful. It's a biomusical of Carole King. Look. I get a lot of people like this one, and I'm sure the Broadway production is a sight to behold, but my disdain of jukebox biomusicals could not be overpowered. So this is a B. The Bridges of Madison County. An Italian war bride and a National Geographic photographer fall in love. I think I liked listening to it, but we're 11 months into this challenge and I cannot be bothered to remember it. This is a C. Rocky. A man trains to be a boxer and also love happens, I guess. It's fine. I can't believe they musical theaterified Eye of the Tiger. I don't care for the rest of the show. This is a D. Aladdin. A man comes across a genie and tries to change his life. It's Aladdin. 1 L, 2 Ds. Bonus points if you get that reference. I think Aladdin is like The Little Mermaid in that the music translates to Broadway super well, and I quite liked it. Is it a bit odd that the original Broadway cast had 0 actors of Middle Eastern descent? That the romantic leads were played by half Asians? Yes, I looked it up. That it took 7 years until this year, 2021, for Shobha Narayan to be the first South Asian actress to play Jasmine. It's odd, wouldn't you say? This is still an A, but it's a very hesitant A, and I am eyeing the producers, directors, casting directors. Looking at you. If then, a woman rebuilds her life in New York and explores 2 branches of possibility. First off, love the concept as someone riddled with the trouble of making decisions. The music itself is fine. Always Starting Over is the standout, and also the one song I kind of knew before listening. Otherwise, it's not really for me. I give it a B. Bullets Over Broadway. A playwright achieves success and has a new slew of problems. Oh, and also the music is all stuff from the 20s and 30s. God, I was just jamming along to the music and was about to complain about another rendition of Take Nobody's Business If I Do. And then I remember that it was Nick Cordero who sang this song. I think the music is great, but I'm not compelled to listen to it again. I give it a B+. Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill. Billie Holiday performs at a bar near the end of her life in a sort of pseudo-recreational way. If you like Billie Holiday and or you like Audra McDonald performing as Billie Holiday, you're going to have a good time. It's just not for me. I give it a B. Violet. A woman with a facial disfigurement travels to a televangelist believing that he can heal her face. I think On My Way is a standout, and I enjoyed listening to it, but I can't remember anything else about it. I gave it a B. Yeah, I gave it a B. Sorry, I didn't know if I should give it a C or not based on my notes. No, it's a B. Hedwig and the Angry Inch. An East German transgender singer tells her life story through her band. I quite enjoyed this one. I would love to see an actual production one day. This is an A. The Last Ship. A man returns to a small town with a shipyard to find a lot has changed. What's that? The music is written by Sting? Like, that Sting? Oh, I didn't know he wrote a musical. I didn't care for this one, but a lot of people on the Discord server really liked it, so I guess I'm gonna listen to it again. For now, it's a C. A Night with Janis Joplin. Janis Joplin performs at a concert near the end of her life in a sort of pseudo-recreational way. If you like Janis Joplin, you're going to have a good time. The last part at the end, where she says she plans on sticking around for a long time, is kind of heartbreaking. Otherwise, it's fine. I give it a B. Honeymoon in Vegas. A couple tries to get married in Las Vegas. Shenanigans ensue. I think I enjoyed listening to it. I don't think I've listened to it again, though. I gave it a B. An American in Paris. A man tries to find a new start in Paris. Also, love happens. Do I think it's fair to judge a dance-heavy show solely on his music? No. That being said, it's Gershwin and instrumentals. I'm not mad about this one. I gave it an A. It should have been you. Shenanigans ensue at a wedding. I didn't expect this one to end up so gay, but I'm kind of here for it. The music is super fun. It's very charming. Jenny's Blues is obviously a standout. I gave it an A. Dr. Zhivago. A man is torn between two women. It's based on a Russian novel. I do not wish to try to explain Russian novels. I actually quite enjoyed this one. Somewhere My Love definitely unlocked a childhood memory I had. I give it an A. Finding Neverland. A playwright and the family that inspired Finding Neverland. A playwright and the family that inspired Peter Pan cross paths. I don't know. I know a lot of people liked the show, but it wasn't for me. Something about rock ballads, I don't know if that's the category for it, doesn't really appeal to me. I give it a B. Fun Home. A cartoonist looks back on her life and her father's, who both have to reckon with the fact that they're gay. I saw the Broadway production back in 2016, and I watched the pro shot of the 2017 Chicago production this month. It's devastatingly beautiful. If you haven't gotten the chance to, please experience this show in some way. It's so good. I give it an A. Something Rotten. A playwright tries to write a hit better than his rival. William Shakespeare. I got to see the show on Broadway, and what a fun time it is. It's such a fun homage to musical theater, and it is hilarious. I give it an A. The Visit. A wealthy woman returns to her hometown and offers to help the town in exchange for the life of the man who abandoned her. I remember watching the Tony Award performance and thinking to myself, I should listen to that show. It's been 6 years, but I'm glad I finally got around to it. I get how it's not for everyone, but it really tickled my noggin, you know? I liked it, so it's an A for me. Amazing Grace. It's a musical about the song Amazing Grace. The third song in the album is titled, quote, The Slave Auction, end quote. And let me tell you, that was super uncomfortable to listen to, and I do not want to try to imagine how it was done on stage. Everything else, I don't know. I'm typing this while listening to it. I'm waiting for it to be over. Oh, man. Oh, it was boring. So boring. My God. I was so glad for it to be over. This is a D. And finally, and what a finally it is. Hamilton. The life of Alexander Hamilton is told through the perspective of his political rival, Aaron Burr. Also, everyone's rapping. Oh boy. Look. We obviously know I'm going to put this at an A. So let's do some dramaturgical talk, okay? I'm going to have to read this. So, I mean, I've always been reading, but we're going to make it more blatantly obvious I'm reading. I don't think this show aged well. It reflects an Obama-era kind of optimism that suggests we can look at America and say, look at what a great country this is. Now we're here in 2021, and it definitely does not feel like that. And like everyone on TikTok and Twitter will tell you, it's not a great look to glorify slave owners. At the same time, we can't deny that Hamilton was revolutionary in incorporating rap on Broadway and having a truly diverse cast of actors on stage. And I think in theater, we have to look at the big picture and recognize that both can be true. Hamilton can have a lot of problems, and it can also spark a new era of musical theater. And for what it is, it was a national hit. And when was the last time you saw a musical be a national hit, especially throughout this month of November? Huh? None of the shows I've mentioned have had as strong of an impact on America and musical theater and pop culture than Hamilton. Anyways, this is an A. And that is all the musicals for the month of November. Woo! December is just 5 years of musicals, and then we'll be done. I'll have listened to 7 decades worth of music, over 700 musicals. I don't even want to try to calculate how many hours that is. My God. If you've watched every single one of my rankings, what are you doing? You're nuts. I mean, not as nuts as me for listening to it all, but you're nuts as me for wanting to watch all of this. But thanks. I really appreciate it. Last time I checked, I was at 92 subscribers, which is, how did that happen? I'm very grateful for all 92 of you. Woo! All right. I'm gonna edit this eventually. We'll get it up there. I have a busy week/weekend. Anyway, that's me talking about my personal life. But we'll see you later. Bye. Hey Google, when did Hamilton the musical open on Broadway?
August 2015.
Thank you.
Countrymag.com, they say. A lot has changed since August 2015, when Hamilton debuted on Broadway.
Thank you.
To find out more, look for the link in your Google Home or Google Assistant app.
Thank you.